Hello guys and welcome back to WAG. It is me, Nene, coming at you with another awesome podcast. I say awesome, but these past, I think, few weekends where I was supposed to upload a podcast, I haven't been able to. Some things have been happening. I've either been busy or circumstances have happened in my life to which I cannot do a podcast. But with that being said, we are back. And hopefully back in full swing with things. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. So this week's podcast then, guys, is a... how can I put this? Put it this way, you've got to have an open mind, okay? You've got to have an open mind, because there's a ton of evidence and not evidence backing this theory and this topic for today, which, of course, is aliens. And are they real? Do they exist? Let's delve into it. Now, my own speculation on whether aliens exist or not is very back and forth. I'll admit that, because, as mentioned in previous and other podcasts that I've done, there is a lot out there that we don't understand. Okay, there is a lot that is mind-blowing. Are ghosts real? Is there a heaven and hell? There's so much. Is the Illuminati real? Is COVID and the vaccines all for population control? There's a lot of stuff out there that is mind-blowing, but obviously today's topic is aliens. So without delving into any other sub-subjects, let's talk about it. Let's get into it. So, my personal belief is that I haven't seen a UFO and I haven't seen an alien. And there's an old saying that goes, seeing is believing. Now, personally, I have not come across a UFO myself. I've seen lights in the sky, but I can't identify what that is, so I guess that's a UFO, because a UFO is an unidentified flying object. Once it's identified, it's just a flying object. So, to me, an unidentified object, a UFO, can be anything that's flying through the air, okay, that you can't identify at the time. Doesn't mean it's an alien aircraft. Now, if I'm going into that terminology of seeing a UFO, then yes, I've seen hundreds of UFOs. But if not coming up to the 1,000th mark, I've seen UFOs, because it's an unidentified flying object. It could have been a helicopter, it could have been a pigeon, it could have been Superman, But it's one of them where, in terms of have I seen an alien aircraft or what is presumed to be an alien aircraft, then no, I haven't. However, I've seen footage and I've read documents and documentation and other things that delve into the alien conspiracy, and you either take it with a pinch of salt or you take it on board. Okay, so going back to it, do I believe in aliens? I honestly can't answer. However, I will answer with this. I would like to believe that there is other forms of life out in our great vastness of space, because there are billions up on... In fact, it's infinite, okay? It's infinite. It goes on forever, okay? So let's say you take up a grain of sand on the beach, okay? There's more stars in the sky than there is of grains of sand on the beach. However, you pick up a grain of sand, right, and you just imagine that is our universe. Not our planet, but our universe, and how tiny it is in the palm of your hand. Okay? Now, within that universe is our solar system, our galaxy, our planet, the other planets within our solar system. And it's tiny. So tiny. And then you drop that onto the rest of the beach. And you look at the beach and you look at all those other grains of sand, and they're all universes and galaxies and what have you. The chances of our planet being able to harbour life, and I dare say intelligent life, I mean, you look around, just have a moment and look around, okay? You will see things that we take for granted, and it is mind-blowing. The technology we have, the devices we have, the phone you're holding in your hand right now, the TV you're watching right now, the vehicles travelling outside your window, the houses you're walking by, the buildings that you're walking by and through. You look around, and our planet is alienated. And when I say alienated, I don't mean alienated in the term of like, oh, something's been alienated. I mean that our natural planet has evolved due to our intellect. We've changed it. We've put structures, we've built roads, we've done this, we've done that. And to say that we've got this far with our planet, with the technology and the way of living we've got, the lifestyles, healthcare, everything we do is beyond natural. But in the same sense, it is natural because we've come from that natural background. We've just developed and developed and developed and developed and developed. You look at the other forms of life on this planet, sure, there's intelligent life like dolphins and apes and what have you, but in the higher sense of things, you would never see, you know, like, I don't know, a giraffe flying an airplane. You would never see it. You would never see it, okay? Or the chances of that happening is very, 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 very slim. But that goes into it. The chances of our planet being where it is and how it is existing today is 1 in a infinite chance. Okay, it is like winning the lottery. The fact that you are sat there listening to this podcast right now is a 1 in an infinite chance of possibilities. In a sense, it's like winning the lottery. Okay, the fact that we are so close, that we are in the right spot for the sun to have its effects on our planet, the fact that we have water on our planet, the fact that it's the right temperature, blah 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 blah. I can go on all day. Okay, there are other planets out there, and there are other suns out there, and I'm telling you now, there has to be other life out there. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it has to be intelligent life, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that they are so advanced that they are, you know, flying to our planet and scoping it out every once in a while, keeping tabs on us, you know. But in that vastness of space, there has got to be either a piece of flying rock or even a moon or a planet or whatever, some form of gas that harbours miniature life within it. Life has to exist beyond our planet. Okay? It has to. Whether it be the microscopic of microscopic organisms, or whether, it is a creature that would outsize our planet, or whether it is intelligent life. We won't know unless we know. However, Donald Trump, when he was president, he did put out a statement that I could be getting this wrong, but it could either be the CIA, the Pentagon, or some form of American government. They had to give out any evidence and any details or any classified information about alien life, and apparently they did, and apparently it's been leaked, but no one was banging on about it because apparently we all knew that aliens existed. Joe Biden has even said, whether there's aliens on the planet or not, he was banging on about the COVID vaccines and what have you, but he'd mentioned in one of his things that, basically aliens are real, and they've been here a long time, or intermingling with us for a long time. Whether that's true or not is obviously open for debate, because we all know how Joe Biden can be when it comes to his speeches. He can ramble on and bumble on and just make absolute no sense in what he is saying. Okay, he does it more than often. Can be quite humorous at times, to be fair. But in terms of, let's say, for example, ancient alien races, if you haven't already, I would recommend watching the film The Fourth Kind, starring Mila Jovovich. That would really open your mind. Apparently it uses actual archived footage as well as documentation and all the rest of it, and it goes into I don't want to get into the religious side of what that film goes on about, but it goes on about like ancient aliens and men in spacesuits coming down to visit our ancestors and what have you. And there is actually cave carvings and cave paintings and stone carvings of things coming down from the sky and visiting our ancestors, and those are pretty much true. So still, do we have visitors that come and go through our time here on Earth? Have they been watching us from the dawn of time? Did they create us? Did life start on this planet and then an alien come and land and be like, oh, look, there's life down here. Oh, let's do a scientific experiment and gene splice it. So they grabbed one of our ancestors, i.e. a monkey, gene spliced it with their DNA, and boom, we are here. Hence the fact that when you look at an alien, you think of a 6 foot, 7 foot tall, grey skinned, intelligent looking creature with 5 fingers, tall, whatever, similar looking to us. And then you can also look at a monkey and argue the fact that, well, yes, they're our closest cousins. We've got, same hands, same eyes, same ears, they're intelligent. Are we a crossbreed between an alien and a monkey? Hence the fact that why we have the technology we have, hence the fact that we are super intelligent in comparison to all life on our planet. It begs a question. But still, as I say, it's one of them, isn't it? It's one of them. Are aliens real? It's all open for debate. Everybody is entitled to their opinion, okay? I'm entitled to mine, just as I'm sharing it with you now. You're entitled to yours. You could say, Nathan, you're talking nonsense, aliens aren't real, they can't be real, whatever. That's your choice. But today's, obviously, that's the point of today's topic. Today's topic is to, if you're listening, to sort of like start a conversation, get in touch, leave me a message, let me know what your thoughts and theories are behind alien life, because that's what it's all about. We all want to know and intermingle with each other on the theory of aliens and whether aliens exist and blah de blah de blah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Do aliens exist or not? I would dare say yes, and I would like to believe that there is. I can't say that definitely, yes, there are aliens, blah de blah de blah, there's this and this evidence, but But I'm just going to read to you now, anyway, a column that I've recently came across, and it is basically going on about the topic that we're discussing at the moment, and this was posted on March 20th, 2018, and it is Reasons to Believe. Okay, and subtitle: How seriously should you take those recent reports of UFOs? Ask the Pentagon or read this primer for the SETI curious. Okay. Every generation gets the abduction fantasy it deserves. Ours is E.T. versus Trump. Illustration: Zohar Lazar, New York Magazine. In the good old days, the arrival of UFOs on the front page of America's paper of record might have seemed like those hang on, I'm reading that completely wrong. I do this all the time. America's paper of record might have seemed like a loose thread, tear right through the fabric of reality. There we go. I've got my teeth back in. The closest that secular space race America could have gotten to a second coming 2 decades ago, or 3, or 6, we would have felt we knew the script in advance. Those to the endless variations pop culture had played for us already. Civilization conflicts to mirror the real-world ones Americans had been imagining in terror since the beginning of the Cold War. But when, in December, the New York Times published an undisputed account of what might once have sounded like a crackpot conspiracy theory. The Pentagon had spent 5 years investigating unexplained aerial phenomena. The response among the paper's most liberal readers, exhausted and beaten down by the recent events, was markedly different from the one in those movies. The news that aliens might actually be visiting us regularly and recently didn't provoke terror about a coming space opera conflict, but something more like the evangelical dream. I'm going to say that, evangelical dream of the rapture. The same liberals might have mocked as kooky right-winged escapism in the George W. Bush years. The truth is out there, former Senator Harry Reid tweeted, with a link to the story. Thank God, came the response through the Twitter event. Could extraterrestrials help us save the Earth? Went one typical reaction. Suddenly, aliens were the escapist fantasy, but also more credible than mere fantasy. The Pentagon report, which featured 2 gripping videos of aerial encounters, was just one beat in a recent search for extraterrestrial intelligence, or SETI. Drum roll. In October, an object passed through the solar system that looked an awful lot like a spaceship. Astronomers spent much of 2016 arguing over whether the weird pulses of lights coming from it and from a distant star were actually evidence of an alien megastructure. Megastructure being the key word there. An army of Silicon Valley billionaires are racing to make first contact, and our new superpowered telescopes are discovering more conceivably habitable planets everywhere. Then, in March, a third video emerged featuring a Navy encounter off the East Coast in 2015, with the group that released it hinting in an additional trove. Why doesn't the Pentagon care? Wondered a Washington Post opt. Surely the first time the newspaper of Katharine Graham was raising to a stink about aliens, the next week President Trump seemed to announce he was creating an entirely new branch of the military. We'll call it the Space Force. You could be forgiven for thinking you'd woke up in a science fiction novel. At the very least, it is starting to seem non-crazy to believe. A recent study shows half the world already does. Alien dreams have always been powered by the desire for human importance in a vast, forgetful cosmos. We want to be seen so we know we exist. What's unusual about the alien fantasy is that, unlike religion or nationalism or conspiracy theory, it doesn't place humans at the center of a grand story. In fact, it displaces them. Humans become, briefly, major players in a drama of almost inconceivable scale. The last lesson of which is, unfortunately, we're total nobodies. That's the lesson. At least of a visit from aliens who got here long before we were able to get there. Wherever there is. If humans are the ones making first contact, where the advanced ones and the aliens are probably more like productive pond scum, which may be one reason we fantasize about those kinds of encounters a lot less than visits to Earth. Of course, when the aliens are explorers, we're the pond scum. But a lot of people in the modern world will take that bargain, which should probably not surprise us given how dizzying and secular and alienating that world objectively is. Conspiracy theories are fueled by desire to see the universe and ultimately intelligible. The bargain being that things can make sense, but only if you believe in pervasive, there we go, I got that one, pervasive totalitarian malice, wow. Alien conspiracy theory keeps the malice, covers up the Roswell, the Men in Black, but rather than benzo comforts. Like order and intelligibility, it offers the psychedelic drama of total unintelligibility, or wonder, a knee-wobbling deep mystical experience of existential ignorance. I want to hold it there because this is going on a while. I've just had a quick flip through, and I want to get to the main points. So let's just have a read. Here we go. Number one. Okay, because that was going on quite a while. We get the idea. Okay, we get the idea that the governments have covered up and then they've given little moments, and the population, more than half of the population believes. We've got that gist. Okay, so point number one. The government literally just admitted it's taking UFOs seriously. In 1952, a CIA group called the Psychological Strategy Board concluded that when it came to UFOs, the American public was dangerously gullible and prone to hysterical mass behavior. And just going off topic a little bit here, we all are. Okay, we all are capable of hysterical mass behavior. When we had the fuel shortage everyone went nuts. When COVID hit, everyone went nuts. So, that's a given. Back to topic. The group recommended debunking campaigns to tamper the public's interest in unexplained phenomena, but the government seems to have been interested. In December, the Pentagon confirmed the existence of the advanced aerospace threat. This is what I was mentioning earlier. One of Donald Trump's governments basically gave out the info. Identification program created in 2007 by Senators Ted Stevens, who reported being chased by a mysterious object. This is going a little off that now. Daniel Inouye and then Majority Leader Harry Reid, and funded with $22 million of black money. I don't know why it's saying black money, from the Department of the Defense's budget. The program investigated and evaluated reports of UFO sightings, many of which came from American service members. So much of what the program uncovered remains classified. Again, this was posted in 2018. So what could be classified then might not be classified now. But what we know as tantalizing based on data it collected, the program identified 5 observations that showed mysterious objects displaying some level of advanced physics, also known as stuff humans can't do yet. The objects would accelerate with G-forces too strong for the human body to withstand, or reach hypersonic speed with no heat trail or sonic boom, or they seem to resist the effects of Earth's gravity without any aerodynamic structures to provide thrust or lift. No one has been able to figure out what these are, says Luis Elizondo, might be pronouncing that wrong, who ran the program until last October in a recent interview. Okay, so we'll just skip through some of that again because it rambles on a little bit. Point 2, Harry Reid says we're not taking them seriously enough. Harry Reid, where is it? Bob Bigelow, the founder of the Bigelow Aerospace and Budget Suites. He's a central figure in all this. When he was a young man, he heard of a story from his grandparents about driving down from Mount Charleston near Las Vegas, where they saw a so-called flying saucer, for lack of a better description. Bob became a very wealthy man. He would pay for these conferences about UFOs and would bring in scientists, academics, and a few nutcases. There were people trying to figure out what all this aero phenomena was. Bob started sending me tons of stuff, not me in particular, but the person obviously who wrote this. Mainly what interested me is that so many people had seen these strange things in the air. It goes on to a few people's conversations there. Part 3, scientists are suddenly much more bullish about the possibility of life out there. Just 30 years ago, we had not discovered a single planet outside our solar system. Now we know more. Hang on a second. Let me just go off subject here. Just a little bit. It says here, this was posted in 2018. It says just 30 years ago, we had not discovered a single planet outside our solar system. That there is very strange. And I'll say that because our ancestors knew about planets outside our solar system to the point where they actually carved and sculpted and basically had structural pointers to certain planets and solar systems outside our own. Prime example, the pyramids are pointed to a certain group of stars or cluster of stars, or whether it be planets or something. I might be wrong on that, but basically, in a nutshell, our ancestors knew about planets and other things outside our own solar system. And obviously that got lost in history and whatever. But yeah, essentially we knew, but we didn't know. So yeah, getting back to the topic. Now we are more than 3,000. Now more than 3,000 of them. We now, oh bloody hell, we now know more than 3,000 of them, and we know nearly every star in the night sky has at least one planet in its orbit. Even people who are not terribly interested in science know that we've found that planets are as common as fire hydrants. They're everywhere. And Seth Shostak, the senior astronomer at the SETI Institute, 1 in 5 or 1 in 6 might be a planet similar to Earth. Yes, we have become aware of this. That doesn't mean we'll ever find an exact replica of Earth. That's wrong. We recently have found a sister planet. It is too far for us to get to, but already there has been. They've confirmed that it has cloud structures. There's water on the planet, and from the looks of it, there is greenery. So. You know, that right there says alien life all over it. If there's water and there's plants, the plants themselves are aliens. The plants are organisms at the end of the day. Those plants are alien because they're on a different planet, you know. But maybe we don't have to. Our study of planets and moons in the solar system shows us many worlds possess the ingredients necessary for life, which I've just said. An atmosphere, organic compounds, liquid water, which I've just said, and other necessities. The moons orbiting Jupiter and Saturn, for example, feature whole subsurface oceans. And even though these places are extremely harsh environments, that doesn't mean as much as we might once have thought it did. Recent discoveries of Earth itself demonstrate that life is much tougher than we thought. Going on to the fact that some microscopic organisms can be frozen, dropped in acid, and even survive the vacuum of space. We found organisms in blistering hot geysers in Yellowstone National Park, in the darkest crevices under the most ungodly pressures in the deepest ocean. The dry hellscapes like the Atacama Desert and whatever. It's going on a bit now. These extremophiles don't need a warm and fuzzy paradise to call home. In fact, they have already evolved to live in environments as harsh as those on other planets. Some, like tardigrades, can even survive the bleak vacuum of space. If there's life in most of those places, it's going to be pond scum, says Shostak, but it's alien pond scum. It shows that biology is all over. They're especially bullish about these planets. Scientists now think every one in five or six planets might be habitable, based on two general criteria. They're rocky, and they reside in a region of the star's orbits called the Goldilocks zone. Obviously, like I was mentioning earlier, where it's just right, we're just at the right temperature, at the right furthestness from the sun, where it's not too cold and it's not too hot, but just right to allow for liquid water to form on the surface. And where there's water, there can be life. Extraterrestrial researchers and enthusiasts are most excited about these. This is going to go on for a while, but basically, okay, we get the idea. Okay, there's lots of points on why we should believe in life. There's one here, basically saying Elon Musk is hell-bent on using his $21 billion to colonize Mars. His company SpaceX has been trying to desperately desperately to reduce the cost of space travel in hopes. So Elon Musk, obviously, he's wanting us to get out there. But again, there could be threats. Let's say we colonize Mars. What viruses, what germs could be on that planet? You've got to take in so much consideration. The fact that if there is alien life, it could be microscopic. Oh God, it's nuts. It's all mind blowing. But nevertheless, okay, we have to take it with an open mind, and go with the possibility that the year is 2021. You're just coming to the end of 2021, and the bleakness of aliens. Do they exist? I think it's safe to say at this point, and obviously this is not confirming, I am not confirming this, but I think it is safe to say that beyond our own planet, outside our own orb, that there is a potential area for life beyond our own globe. And as I say, whether that be microscopic or microscopic, or whether it be intelligent or whatever. Okay, end of the day, we are all capable of doing our own research and looking up things, looking up evidence. We do it with everything. We do it with, medical health needs. We do it with fictional characters. We do it with factual characters, topics, whatever. I recommend, if you are interested in this topic, then do some research. Go on Google and, read what you will read, watch what you will watch, and by the end of it, you will make your own mind up. I personally am 90% in belief. I can't say I'm 100% in belief. I would say I'm 90% in belief that there is alien life outside our own planet. And are they going to make themselves known one day if it isn't, intelligent life with the alien aircrafts flying around and all this and everything? What are they going to do? What is their purpose? It's like the Black Knight satellite. The Black Knight satellite supposedly is, that rock-shaped structure that flashes lights every once in a while, that whenever an aircraft gets near it, it goes, it's gone. There's loads of stuff. There is loads of stuff that we could discuss today about alien life, but I think we've discussed enough. As I say, if you are interested in this topic for today, then, dig deeper. Jump on Google, read documents, watch YouTube videos, anything that you think that might be, substantial evidence to your beliefs, or non-beliefs, whether you don't believe in alien life or not. But, chances are, if you're listening to this, then there is some some sort of subconscious or conscious thoughts there that you do believe. And the same goes for me. Like I said, I'm 90% on the belief side. Otherwise, I will not be making this podcast. Okay. Well, I guess I can't really say that. Whether I believe in something or not, I'd probably still do a podcast about the topic. But on this particular matter, I would say I'm 90% there with the belief. Because, like I said, you just got to look at it on the grander scale of things. It's nuts. We cannot be the only ones. We can't. You look at our oceans, for goodness sake, just look at our own ocean. Okay, we know more about our own solar system than we do about our ocean. Okay, and there is microscopic life teeming in our waters, our lakes, our ponds, our rivers, our oceans. Okay, there is life we don't even know about in our own waters. We are still discovering new forms of life into this very day, where we're like, what the hell is that swimming about? You know? It's madness. It really is. Absolute madness. So you take on what we know about our own planet, and then you times that by infinite. Okay, you times that by infinite. Because there's infinite possibilities. There's other planets. Okay, those other planets would have different environments. Different environments would harbour different forms of breeding grounds for different forms of life. You know, and like we were just saying there on the end of that topic, where, you know, some forms of life don't even need the ingredients of life to live. What we think of the ingredients of life, like warmth, water, and habitable environment, most of what the life on our planet doesn't even need that. Okay, some of the microscopic organisms do not need that. You could freeze a tardigrade for 1,000 years, melt it, and it'd be like, what the hell was that? I've just had a nice nap. Okay, you could throw it into space and it'd be like, oh, you know, I'm just drifting away, you know. It's nuts. There's some forms of life that you can drop into a vat of acid, and for some reason its cellular structure doesn't burn within the acid. It is nuts. It literally swims around in a droplet or a tub of acid like it's a swimming pool. It is nuts. So with that, I'm going to end this podcast here, guys. I hope you've enjoyed today's podcast. If you have, obviously, let me know. Let me know what your thoughts and feelings are on alien life. I know we've mentioned it to and fro on other podcasts, but I wanted to delve into it a little deeper today. A little deeper. But yeah, I think it's been an interesting one. As I say, let me know what you guys think, and I'll catch you in the next podcast, guys. Chinwag out.